and welcome. I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we join together in singing number 389, Gathered Here. Number 389. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Spirit, draw near. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near.
Thank you. Have a seat. And good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor. It is good to be with you here in the sanctuary and on live stream this first Sunday of 2023 after a break from the holidays. I'm grateful to be here with you and grateful you have chosen to be in community with us as we begin our new year in stillness through words and story, music, and rituals. A logistical note to start with. During the service today, you'll need 3 pieces of paper and something to write with. And if you are in the sanctuary, you pick these up on the way in. And if you miss them, that's okay, raise your hand, and an usher will come by and bring them to you. If you're at home, you will also need 3 small pieces of paper, something to write with, and a small bowl or cup that has some water in it. We're going to use these in our ritual later. I am Reverend Theresa Rohlck. I'm the Minister of Pastoral Care, and I'm joined in leading worship today by Dr. Carter Smith, our Acting Director of Music, Stella Anderson, our Director of Spiritual Growth and Development, by Allison Halerz, our Pianist-in-Residence, Mike Halerz, our Technology Consultant. But worship only happens because you all have decided to be present. Take a moment and look around who is with you in this space today. Wish each other Happy New Year. Wave to those virtually. And for you at home, wave to us. If you are new to us and perhaps searching for a spiritual home, we warmly welcome you to the community. I invite you to stay for a newcomer welcome right after the service in the Jackson Chapel, which is just outside the double doors, up a little ways, and to the room on the right, across from the rack of name tags. Someone will be in the room to share a bit more about who we are and what we do and answer any questions you might have. If you're online, I invite you to introduce yourself in the chat so folks can welcome you. And please take a moment to fill out a newcomer survey so we can connect with you. It's at UUAA.org/newcomer survey. I also have an announcement that on January 22nd, there will be a congregational meeting, and it starts at 11 a.m. This meeting is entirely on Zoom. So there's no in-person worship on January 22nd. It will begin at 10:30 with a recording of a short service, and then the meeting begins at 11. You will need to register to get access to the Zoom link, and you can do that through the church website. Okay? So remember, January 22nd, our first congregational meeting of the year. So now we begin in stillness. And as we move deeper into that space of stillness, and as we look to both the past and the future, I offer wisdom from the Tao Te Ching, chapter 74. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut yourself. We are gathered for worship.
Good morning. Let us prepare to welcome the new year in the warmth and the light of our chalice by lifting up what it represents, a symbol of Unitarian Universalist faith that connects us with the Unitarian Universalists around the world and connects all of us present this morning at home and in this sanctuary. This morning, I'm pleased to invite Stella Anderson to the chancel to light our chalice. And for those who are joining us on live stream this morning or at a later time, I invite you to take this moment to light a chalice or candle along with us here. And then please feel free to add a message in the live chat saying, "Your chalice is lit." And now, would you please join with me as we say, "We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the energy of action. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace." Thank you. Another way we begin our time each week is by reciting our covenant. We are a community not bound by one single creed or set of beliefs. Instead, we are bound by the promises that we make about how we want to be in relationship with each other. The spirit of these promises is captured in our community's covenant. Would you please rise in body or spirit? And whether you have spoken these words more times than you can count, or this is your first time, let us all join together now in speaking the words of our community's covenant. The spirit of this church is love, and service is its law. This is our covenant with each other, to dwell together in peace, to search for truth in love, and to help one another. Now I would invite you to remain standing as we join our voices in our song of aspiration, which you can find on the inside cover of the gray hymnal or on the screens in the front of the sanctuary. Let us join together in singing. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and trust arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung through every land, by every tongue. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning. This past week, we finally took down all of our holiday decorations. There's a sad, stripped bare Christmas tree being hauled away from our porch, possibly at this very moment. It's not an easy thing to do, to let go of the holiday season and its promises of joy and revelry, of time together with family and friends, of generosity and magic. Although I will say it will not be hard to let go of my children when I drop them off at the bus stop tomorrow morning. I have found that as much as I love putting up the holiday stuff, I also love taking it down. Maybe it's because I no longer have to sweep up pine needles or pick up ornaments that my cats knocked off the tree. And isn't it a relief when all the desserts are finally eaten? Right, kids? Are you all sick of cookies and candy canes? I asked for that one. The journey from the chaos of December into the quietude of January offers all of us a chance to let go, to scale back, and to rest. We can cast aside what no longer sparks joy, as Marie Kondo would say. Some of us make resolutions or we set intentions for the future, challenging ourselves to re-examine our habits, desires, ideas, and fears. Weaving through all of these practices is the thread of stillness. Finding stillness is difficult, but thankfully, we have the wisdom of Stillwater the panda to guide us. Our story for all ages this morning comes from the brilliant imagination of John Muth. As he writes so elegantly, when you look into a pool of water, if the water is still, you can see the moon reflected. If the water is agitated, the moon is fragmented and scattered. It is harder to see the true moon. Our minds are like that. When our minds are agitated, we cannot see the true world. And I would add, we cannot see our true and best loving selves. Zen Shorts, written and illustrated by John J. Muth. Michael, there's a bear outside, said Carl. A what? Called Michael. A bear. He's really big and he's in the backyard. What's he doing? Michael asked. He's sitting. He has an umbrella, said Carl. An umbrella? By the time the boys got outside, their sister Addie was already talking with him. I'm sorry for arriving unannounced, said the bear. The wind carried my umbrella all the way from my backyard to your backyard. I thought I would retrieve it before it became a nuisance. He spoke with a slight panda accent. Michael introduced himself. Then Addie introduced Carl because Carl was shy around bears he didn't know. And this is how Addie, Michael, and Carl met Stillwater. The next day, Addie went to have tea with Stillwater. Hello, Addie said as she stepped inside. Come in, a faraway voice called. Then she heard the voice say, oh yes, come out, come out. Stillwater was in the backyard. He was in a tent. This is a birthday present from my Uncle Rye, Stillwater said. He always gives presents on his birthday to celebrate the day he was born. I like it so much that I'm not staying in my house right now. Stillwater invited Addie to sit with him. You brought me some cake, said Stillwater. That was very nice of you. Is it your birthday? He asked. No, said Addie. It's not mine either, said Stillwater, but let me give you a gift for my uncle's birthday. I will tell you a story. Uncle Rye and the Moon. My Uncle Rye lived alone in a small house up in the hills. He didn't own many things. He lived a simple life. One evening, he discovered he had a visitor. A robber had broken into the house and was rummaging through my uncle's few belongings. The robber didn't notice Uncle Rye, and when my uncle said, hello, the robber was so startled he almost fell down. My uncle smiled at the robber and shook his hand. Welcome, welcome, how nice of you to visit. The robber opened his mouth to speak, but he couldn't think of anything to say. Because Rye never lets anyone leave empty-handed, he looked around the tiny hut for a gift for the robber. But there was nothing to give. The robber began to back toward the door. He wanted to leave. At last, Uncle Rye knew what to do. He took off his only robe, which was old and tattered. "Here," he said, "please take this." The robber thought my uncle was crazy. He took the robe, dashed out the door, and escaped into the night. My uncle sat and looked at the moon, its silvery light spilling over the mountains, making all things quietly beautiful. "Poor man," lamented my uncle. "All I had to give him was my tattered robe. If only I could have given him this wonderful moon." "Your uncle sounds nice," said Addie. "I don't think I could have given away my only robe." "I know how that is," said Stillwater. "But there's always the moon." "That was a good story," said Addie. "Thank you," said Stillwater, "and this is good cake." "Thanks," said Addie. "I made it myself." The next day, Michael went to see Stillwater. "Here I am," Stillwater called from the tree. "Can I come up?" asked Michael. "If you are careful," said Stillwater. "What if we could fly?" said Michael. "We could cast shadows on clouds," said Stillwater. "But what if we fell?" said Michael. "If we fell, we might break something," said Stillwater. "That would be bad," said Michael. "Maybe," said Stillwater. "Maybe?" asked Michael. The farmer's luck. There was once an old farmer who had worked his crops for many years. One day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. "Such bad luck," they said sympathetically. "Maybe," the farmer replied. The next morning the horse returned, bringing with it 2 other wild horses. "Such good luck," the neighbors exclaimed. "Maybe," replied the farmer. The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown off, and broke his leg. Again, the neighbors came to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. "Such bad luck," they said. "Maybe," answered the farmer. The day after that, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army to fight in a war. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. "Such good luck!" cried the neighbors. "Maybe," said the farmer. "I get it," said Michael. "Maybe good luck and bad luck are all mixed up. You never know what will happen next." "Yes," Stillwater agreed. "You never know." The day after that, Carl went to visit Stillwater. "Michael said I couldn't bring over our stuff to go swimming. I'm mad at Michael. He's always telling me what to do, so I brought everything." Said Stillwater. "It's a little pool. I don't know if all those things will fit." "Let's see," Carl said. "Let's see," said Stillwater. Stillwater looked at the pool. "The things can go swimming, but we can't," he said. "I brought too much stuff," said Carl. "That's okay," said Stillwater. "I'll help you carry it home later." "Why does Michael always have to tell me what to do?" Carl said. "If he were here, I would climb up really high, and I would jump on him like this, and I'd do a big smash like this." Later, Carl and Stillwater had tea. "Carl," said Stillwater, "you spent the whole day being angry with Michael. Did you notice how much fun we had?" Carl watched the steam rise from his cup. "I'm sorry I brought all this stuff," Carl said. "You don't need to be sorry," said Stillwater. "Right now, you need to carry. Hold on tight, and I will tell you a story." A heavy load. 2 traveling monks reached a town where there was a young woman waiting to step out of her sedan chair. The rains had made deep puddles, and she couldn't step across without spoiling her silken robes. She stood there, looking very cross and impatient. She was scolding her attendants. They had nowhere to place the packages they held for her, so they couldn't help her across the puddle. The younger monk noticed the woman, said nothing, and walked by. The older monk quickly picked her up and put her on his back, transported her across the water, and put her down on the other side. She didn't thank the older monk. She just shoved him out of the way and departed. As they continued on their way, the young monk was brooding and preoccupied. After several hours, unable to hold his silence, he spoke out. "That woman back there was very selfish and rude, but you picked her up on your back and carried her. Then she didn't even thank you." "I set the woman down hours ago," the old monk replied. "Why are you still carrying her?" "Do you think you have carried it long enough?" asked Stillwater. "Yes," said Carl. "Good," said Stillwater. And this is how Addie, Michael, Carl, and Stillwater became friends. The end. Now is the time in our service when we sing our children to their programs. I invite all of our young people to follow their teachers out of the sanctuary as the congregation sings with love and tenderness.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine.
Our first sharing the collection of the new year is in support of a local community initiative called Dementia-Friendly Saline. If you would please welcome our speaker, Jim Mangi, who will fill us in on the important work this organization is doing. Jim?
What did she just say to me? What is this place? Who are these people? What's going on? Folks, that's a little bit like how it is to live with dementia. We can't cure the brain diseases like Alzheimer's that cause dementia, but we can make it less difficult, less lonesome, less confusing to live in the community for people with dementia. And that's what our organization, Dementia-Friendly Saline, seeks to do. Throughout Washtenaw County, where 5 or 6 out of every 100 persons is dealing with dementia, either in themselves or a loved one. And where 80% of the people with dementia are still able to live in the community, going to shops, restaurants, places of worship. We believe, as you do, in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, no matter what their abilities and no matter where they are on the dementia journey. And we know that Alzheimer's is a disease, not a disgrace. So our free workshops educate businesses, churches, and others on how to help persons with dementia shop, dine, attend worship with less difficulty and more dignity. And we offer free monthly social educational events called memory cafes, where persons with dementia and their caregivers can connect with other people on the journey in an embarrassment-free zone while enjoying live music, art, storytelling, food demonstrations, drum circles, and so much more. And while also learning how to live their best lives with dementia. We hope to gather the resources to offer these cafes twice a month. The need is there. And we'll soon be offering, for the first time in the United States, dementia-friendly movie events at Imagine Theater. And several more programs aimed at making life less difficult and more dignified for persons dealing with dementia. And your generous support will enable us to do more of all of the above. I thank you so much for this opportunity and for your generosity.
Thank you, Jim. Dementia-friendly Saline embodies the idea of radical welcome that we at UUAA are striving to live into as one of our vision areas. Please consider as generous a gift as possible to support this important work. You can give online at uuaa.org/giving, text UUAA to 73256, or drop cash or a check into the baskets. I invite the ushers to come forward now. The offering for dementia-friendly Saline will be gratefully given and received. And I thank you for your generosity. As the ushers come forward with the offering, I invite you to please rise in body or in spirit and join me in saying with intention the words we use to dedicate our offerings. Let us say together, "To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, dedicate our lives and these our offerings." Thank you. Have a seat. Dear ones, I wonder if we might just take a moment to center ourselves with a handful of breaths to find a place of stillness within. From this place of stillness, I want to share an update on the Stewardship campaign and what it means for the coming fiscal year 2023. Some, and maybe many of you, have seen and read the email communication from Senior Minister Reverend Manish Mishra-Marzetti, Administrator Deb Markham, and Board President Laura Johnstone that was sent out on January 4th. Even if you have seen it, or especially if you have not, I'd like to give you a brief summary. The second Ask campaign during December resulted in an overwhelming amount of support and increased pledges, for which we are grateful beyond words. Because of this outpouring of support, it meant that the projected staff cuts for 2023 would only end up being one full-time equivalent position, rather than potentially 3 positions. So given that reality, I have the difficult task of letting you know that we will no longer staff the full-time Minister of Community Life position, which is currently held by Reverend Cassandra Hartley. Reverend Cassie's ministry at UUAA will conclude at the end of this month. While she's not on the chancel today, you will see her in the coming weeks, and please know there will be opportunities over the month of January to honor and thank Reverend Cassie for her ministry with UUAA. The details of when and what those will be is forthcoming. Decisions of this sort do not come easily, nor without a great deal of consultation and discussion, as outlined in the email communication. The result of any decision like this is very likely grief. And for each individual, that grief response is different. And I want to reassure you each that whatever shape that takes for you, that is what is right. Each of you may process this information in very different ways. Know that I am available to support you as your Minister of Pastoral Care, and members of the Pastoral Care team are also here for support after each service, whether it is this week or several months from now. I continue to have faith in this community's resilience. In the 158 years of this congregation's existence, we have faced many challenges, and we will face more in the future. Yet here we are, gathered as one strong body. I invite you again to find a place of stillness within yourselves. Breathe as is comfortable for you, and let this music surround you and as best you can, quiet the thoughts that may be swirling through your mind right now. Find a place of stillness from which we can begin our new year together. Stillness can be a source of strength, a source of calm. And if we can learn to be in stillness, find moments of stillness, we can experience some respite, a sense of renewal, of being restored physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Winter for us here in the Northern Hemisphere with longer nights and colder weather, and often blankets of snow, invites stillness. As we focus on the transition to a new year, let us begin in stillness. We'll engage in 3 rituals, each with moments of quiet for reflection as we let go of the past, set a new course for ourselves, and acknowledge the community of which we are a part. For our first ritual, if you are joining us from home, please use any piece of paper, the thinner the better, for this ritual, and have something to write with and a small cup or bowl of water nearby. For those here in the sanctuary, we'll begin with the thin white paper. This is dissolving paper. And again, if you don't have paper, raise your hands and the ushers will. Yes, there's several who need some paper yet. The ushers will bring you some. Right now, the new year is calling us forward, filled with mystery and possibility. And even as we turn toward that potential, we must also take a final look back at the past year and decide what we will hold on to and what we will let go of. Think about what you want to let go of from the past year. What do you want to release? Maybe it's a bad memory, a mistake, a limiting belief, a relationship. What's holding you back? What's getting in the way of you living as fully as you'd like to? Let's take some time now to write a word, a phrase, a sentence, or even draw a picture on the paper. Nobody will see it except you. For those at home, when you are ready, please say silently or out loud, "I let go," and then drop the paper into the water you have nearby and stir it around, releasing what you are letting go of. Now, if you don't have water, that's okay. You can just tear up the paper or hold it under running water later. Just take your time with the task. For those here in the sanctuary, when you are ready, come up to the tables here and drop your dissolving paper in. You can say out loud, "I let go," or say that silently in your hearts. There's no need to rush this. Please allow space for those ahead of you to finish their time before you approach the table. And this will happen in no specific order. Whenever you are ready, just simply come up to the tables. Let's begin. Sorry, Allison. One more thing. If mobility or another issue would keep you from coming forward, we do have water we can bring to you. And please just let us know, indicate with a hand that we can bring water to you. Now let's begin. Thank you. If the past year held joy and growth for you, may that sweetness continue to bless you. If the past year held pain and bitterness, may you feel your burdens lifted. May each of us move forward into the new year feeling lighter, feeling peaceful, feeling whole. Blessed be.
Together, we have engaged in a ritual of letting go, of releasing past emotions and memories we no longer need to carry with us. Now let us shift our attention to the moments that mark new beginnings, like this first worship service of the year. January feels like an empty canvas, an opportunity to rest after a hectic holiday season. The beginning of a new year is often a time of intentional reflection on what lies ahead. The last 3 years have been tumultuous and unpredictable, which makes the promise of a fresh start all the more urgent. So in this ritual, in addition to providing some quiet moments of reflection, we will be writing our intentions, hopes, and aspirations for the coming year. This is different from a New Year's resolution, the kind of self-improvement goal we often set up for ourselves with unrealistic expectations that end up abandoned within weeks or months. Just as a covenant is not a contract, let what you write today be a resilient intention that you can return to again and again, not a breakable resolution. Let it be free from judgment. Let it be something that helps set the course of the year ahead. For those here in the sanctuary, find your small blue paper. For those at home, again, any piece of paper will do. On the blue paper, write a single word, a phrase, a paragraph, or even draw an image if that's more meaningful to you. So let us take some time together now to be still, to reflect, and to write our intentions and hopes for the year ahead. When you are finished, you can fold your paper and set it aside. Our hope is that after the service ends, you will tuck this paper away somewhere, in a wallet, in the zipper compartment of a backpack, a change purse, a jar in the kitchen, a junk drawer, a pocket, or slip it into the sandals that you'll wear next summer. Put it somewhere where you will find it in the months ahead, when it might come as a surprise and a reminder of this day and time. Maybe it will prompt a moment of reflection and observation, or maybe it will encourage you to write down new intentions that have come into focus. Whatever happens, may it be the gift you need. Blessed be.
Now that we have released what no longer serves us and set intentions to shape the coming year, it's time to share a word of hope with others. For I know that when we reach beyond the boundaries of our own life, we connect with the spirit of life itself. When we lend out our strength and compassion, then compassion and strength are returned to us 1,000-fold. When we weave a raft upon which the possibility travels forth, we are held afloat, even through turbulent waters. While the first two parts of today's rituals could remain private, with no one seeing them except you, yourself, in this final part, others will read your words, and in fact, that's the whole point. For those of you here, you can take the small green paper, and at home you can use any piece of paper. So now write a few words or a sentence or draw an image that represents your wish for someone else in the coming year. What are the gifts you hope they'll carry with them throughout 2023? Take a moment now and to write those wishes. I invite the ushers to now come forward, and they will collect these green papers, the ones with your wishes for someone else. For those at home, consider sharing the wish you made in the chat while these papers are being collected. The baskets of wishes will be placed on the table right outside the sanctuary doors. And we invite you to pick up one piece of paper on your way out, maybe check just to be sure it isn't your own wish, and then carry that wish with you. If you're at home, you can give your paper to someone else in your household, or maybe to the next visitor that you have. May our deepest aspirations for our siblings in faith be realized in the new year. One of my deepest aspirations is for peace, for each of you individually, for us collectively as a congregation, for our nation and the world. As we sing the next hymn, number 388, Dona, Nobis, Pacem, sing this wish for peace to each other. Sing it to anything or anyone who is in need of peace. If you would, please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing hymn 388, Dona, Nobis, Pacem.
have sifted through the past year, holding tight to what we need for the journey ahead, and letting go of all that weighs us down.
We have set a new course, and we trust that the path will unfold before us.
We have shared our highest aspirations for each other because we know we cannot make this journey alone.
And now we take the first tentative steps forward.
We begin again with hope.
We begin again with love.
Amen, and
And
blessed be.
be.